Have you ever wondered how cats actually mate? If you're picturing a romantic moonlit scene with two little furballs rubbing noses like a Disney classic, maybe the Aristocats sharing a bowl of milk, one hate to break it to you. But you're dead wrong. In reality, the wild world of feline dating is way more brutal and unhinged than you'd ever imagine. There are no roses, no sweet nothings whispered in ears. Instead, it's a saga of cold biological calculations, midnight screeches that sound like a horror movie, and a bedroom script so wild it would make anyone squirm. Welcome to the gritty, underground dating scene of cats, a ruthless arena where love doesn't start with love at first sight, but with an invisible chemical weapon, kicking off a survival game perfectly scripted by Mother Nature. Grab a cup of coffee, or maybe a strong drink. Get comfortable, and buckle up, because this hilarious yet biologically horrifying tale will change the way you look at the little furball purring at your feet forever. In this battlefield of love, the ladies always make the first move. When a female cat goes into heat, her estrogen levels absolutely skyrocket, turning her tiny body into an overdrive scent manufacturing plant. She'll start rolling around the floor like she's possessed, aggressively rubbing her chin, cheeks, and hips on everything from the coffee table to the doorframe. And her ultimate finishing move? Spraying urine loaded with a highly concentrated chemical love potion called pheromones. To our basic human noses, it just smells like a nasty litter box situation that requires a gallon of bleach. But put yourself in the paws of a tomcat wandering a mile away. Carried by the night breeze, these pheromone molecules drift over fences and down alleyways, plotting a GPS route with pinpoint accuracy. It's essentially a glowing neon VIP invite that screams, "I'm right here. I'm single, and my ovaries are ready to party." The moment a male cat catches a whiff of this irresistible scent, you'll witness one of the most comical expressions in the animal kingdom. He'll slam on the brakes, lift his head high, open his mouth slightly, scrunch up his wet nose, and peel back his upper lip like he just sniffed a pair of 3-day-old gym socks. Don't rush to meme his stink face, though, because he's actually performing a masterclass in biochemical analysis known as the Fleeman response. By making this goofy face, the tomcat pumps the pheromone-laced air into a tiny, hidden slit on the roof of his mouth leading directly to the Jacobson's organ, or vomeronasal organ. Think of this as a high-tech, built-in laboratory with a processor faster than your smartphone. In a split second, it scans the chemical profile and sends a detailed push notification to his brain. Who is she? Where does she live? Is she healthy? And is the store open for business? Once he gets the green light, his testosterone levels boil over, leaving everything else behind. He hits the road, sprinting through the dark to track down the call of love. But life isn't a rom-com, and the road to a beautiful girl's heart is rarely paved with rose petals. When our Romeo finally arrives at the address, he's usually met with the bitter realization that he isn't the only one who got the invite. By now, the female is surrounded by a summit of the neighborhood's toughest, battle-scarred street toughs. 5 or 6 beefy tomcats form a tight circle around the reigning queen. And this is where the most intense psychological warfare begins. Unlike other animals that just dive headfirst into a mindless brawl, cats are calculating tacticians. A full-blown street fight wastes precious energy and could lead to a blinding eye injury. And who's going to admire the ladies then? So, they resort to a classic Mexican standoff. Deep, chest-rattling growls and ear-piercing hisses fill the air. They pin their ears flat against their heads, puff up their fur like bottle brushes, arch their backs to fake being taller, and lock eyes in a deadly staring contest where blinking is a sign of weakness. The tension is thick enough to cut with a knife, straight out of an old Western shootout. The guy with the biggest build, the most intimidating yowl, and the thickest skin will slowly use this invisible pressure to force the weaker, less confident dudes to pack up and go home. Beating up the noisy rivals is just the qualifying round. The final boss fight is dealing with the sassy lady rolling around center stage. In the feline world, the female holds absolute veto power, even though her body is being battered by a Category 5 hormone hurricane. She plays hard to get to an extreme degree. If the winning male gets too eager and takes a step forward before she gives the okay, he's going to get a bloody lesson. She'll hiss like a snake, bare her fangs, and unleash a lightning-fast combo of razor-sharp right hooks straight to his face. With a bleeding heart, and probably a bleeding nose, the tomcat has no choice but to back up and obediently sit on his paws. This test of patience can drag on for hours. He just has to sit there like a statue, watching his muse writhe and yowl until a mysterious neurological switch in her brain finally flips on. And then, The magical moment arrives. All her aggressive diva energy vanishes into thin air. She lowers her center of gravity, drops to her belly, stretches her front legs out, and raises her rear end as high as it will go. Her spine arches into a perfect U shape, and she sweeps her tail sharply to the side. This legendary pose is scientifically known as lordosis. She's not doing it on purpose, it's an automatic, involuntary reflex triggered by her central nervous system when estrogen hits its peak. It's the ultimate green light, signaling that the defensive claw shield is deactivated. Getting the silent nod, the male seizes the moment and approaches from behind. But hold your horses, don't expect a tender embrace. His very first move is to open wide and sink his sharp canine teeth deep into the thick scruff of her neck. To a human observer, it looks like a horrifying domestic dispute. But through the lens of evolution, it's a masterpiece. This neck bite triggers a mechanism called pinch-induced behavioral inhibition. Remember how mother cats carry their kittens by the scruff, and the babies instantly freeze up like little statues? The male has just hit that exact pause button from her childhood. The female's body goes temporarily paralyzed. She lies perfectly still, unable to thrash around or deliver a lethal counter swipe. In the wild, where predators are always lurking, getting the deed done as quickly and safely as possible is the key to survival. Once the target is locked, the actual mating happens at warp speed, usually over in a few seconds to less than a minute. But behind this quickie lies the most brutal anatomical secret of the male cat. Unlike the smooth anatomy of many other mammals, a tomcat's reproductive organ is an absolute torture device. It is covered in hundreds of tiny, backward-facing barbs made of keratin, the exact same stuff your fingernails and cat claws are made of. The function of these barbs isn't for pleasure, it's for scratching. When the male finishes and pulls away, these backward-facing spikes scrape violently against the walls of the female's reproductive tract, causing agonizing pain. Why would Mother Nature, who usually loves harmony, design such a cruel torture method? The answer lies in a top-tier survival mechanism called induced ovulation. Unlike humans, who drop an egg every month on a schedule, a female cat's eggs are incredibly stubborn. They just chill in the ovaries and flat out refuse to release without a direct order from the brain. And that excruciating pain from the keratin barbs? That's the password to unlock the system. The physical pain sends a massive electrical jolt up the spinal cord straight into the hypothalamus in her brain. Shocked by the violent stimulus, the brain instantly orders the release of a massive flood of LH, luteinizing hormone, into the bloodstream. This hormone tsunami acts like a biological sledgehammer, busting open the follicles and forcing the eggs to drop and meet the sperm. It's an elite energy-saving strategy. She will never waste an egg unless an actual mating session just happened. It guarantees that every time an egg drops, a squad of sperm is already there waiting, maximizing pregnancy rates and ensuring no biological opportunity is wasted. If it weren't for this brutal physical mechanism, her heat cycle would just loop endlessly, draining her energy with no actual pregnancy to show for it. But because the price of admission is a literal world of pain, the exact second the male releases his grip on her neck, a ticking time bomb goes off. The nervous system jolts awake, and the female lets out a blood-curdling screech. She whips around faster than lightning, eyes dilated in pure rage, and unleashes a furious flurry of slashes, trying to murder the guy she was just intimate with. The tomcat, a seasoned veteran of the streets, knows exactly how fast the tables turn. The millisecond he's done, he has to engage his back legs and do a ninja backflip several feet away to save his own life. Because if he hesitates for half a second, he might just lose an eyeball to the furious beauty's claws. After kicking the jerk out, the female enters a bizarre psychological state known as the after reaction. She throws herself on the ground, rolling frantically from side to side, aggressively rubbing her back against the rough floor, and then abruptly sits up to groom herself like a maniac. It looks like she's lost her mind, but it's actually totally logical. This behavior lasts a few minutes and helps soothe her massively overloaded nervous system, while also scrubbing away the previous guy's scent to clear the runway for round 2. Yep, you heard that right, the show's not over. Enduring that torture chamber once isn't enough to push her LH hormone levels high enough to drop all her eggs. Her body practically demands that she grits her teeth and hits her mating KPI 3 to 4 more times within a 24-hour window. As the pain subsides, estrogen takes the wheel again. She goes back to yowling, drops back into the lordosis pose, and gets ready to interview a brand new candidate waiting in line outside. This highly calculated open-door policy leads to one of the most mind-blowing biological phenomena ever. heteropaternal superfecundation. Because our queen mates with multiple males during the 24 hours her eggs are dropping. Millions of sperm carrying entirely different genetics from different dads enter a life or death marathon in her uterus. The result? 2 months later, mama cat might proudly deliver a litter of 5 kittens, with 5 completely different fur colors, body types, and personalities. You'll have a tabby that looks exactly like the block's mob boss, a mysterious black void from the stray down the alley, and a chunky orange fluff ball resembling the neighbor's lazy Garfield. Don't judge her morals by human standards. In evolutionary biology, this is the ultimate investment portfolio diversification. By maxing out genetic variety in a single litter, mama cat buys a survival insurance policy for her bloodline. It ensures that no matter how harsh the environment gets, or what diseases sweep through, at least a couple of her kids will have the winning, good genes to survive, thrive, and keep the majestic feline legacy alive. And so, as the faint light of dawn breaks the horizon, chasing away the cold, quiet night, the fierce arena of scents, sounds, and violent biology slowly closes its curtains. The battered tomcats limp home with a few new scratches to sleep it off. The exhausted female curls up in a warm corner, her breathing finally calm and steady. Deep inside that tiny, resting body, the greatest life-creating machine has just been booted up. That whole chaotic, loud, and aggressive ordeal wasn't just meaningless madness. It's a flawless symphony orchestrated by hormones, nerves, and instinct, written and refined by Mother Nature over millions of years of evolution. It's a wild reminder that beneath that sassy attitude, the velvet fur, and the sweet purrs by the heater, your house cat still beats with the heart of a wild predator, bowing completely to the raw, fierce, and magical laws of the natural world. During this phase, your Majesty, at home isn't being a brat or trying to ruin your life. She's just heavily burdened with nature's sacred and brutal mission to keep her species going. Those midnight horror movie screams and the dramatic rolling on the floor are just her intense survival instincts kicking into high gear, requiring absolute patience and grace from you. Please cut her some slack for her mood swings and fiery left hooks. Because to create new life, that tiny body has to endure an insane amount of physical pain. Instead of grumbling and complaining, gently keep her space clean. Lock all the doors and windows to turn your house into a safe fortress. And protect her from the dangers outside. No matter how noisy or exhausting it gets, standing by her side through this hormonal hurricane is the ultimate lesson in empathy, and a true testament to the warm love you have for your little best friend. What do you think about how cats mate? Think about it. Ultimately, genuine animal love isn't just about soft cuddles or keeping the food bowl full. It stems from a deep understanding of the harsh natural laws that govern them. Only when we empathize with that wild instinct can we truly become their best companions, giving them the most fulfilling and peaceful life possible.